prior to emailing the letter of invitation?
No.
Okay.
I haven't had any contact with that office.
Okay, so then it seems like your response has been consistent. You said before your only interaction with the DOJ was when you reviewed, I guess, the letter dated, their July 7th letter, and then the letter of invitation that was emailed to the Assistant Attorney General on Friday. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so those would be the two. And I think you said that you have not received any response from the Assistant Attorney General's office.
So we of course we recessed our hearing, and I went back to the office, wrote up a letter right then, and sometime after 5 p.m. I got one of those automatic responses from their office saying it had been received.
Okay, and that's been it?
That was Friday evening, and of course today's just Monday.
Okay. And then we did some research, and under our Senate rules and state law, issuing a subpoena that's been considered a procedural matter, not a non-procedural or substantive matter. It's clear that if the committee chooses to do so, we could issue a subpoena to the Assistant Attorney General Dillon during today's regional hearing or tomorrow, but I think you said that we're going to do that on Wednesday.
So my understanding...
Did I hear that correctly?
My understanding of the Senate resolution we passed, it specifically says that we cannot issue subpoenas during regional hearings. But, and I'm still not clear on if we can issue a subpoena to a federal officer. However, I will ask Ledge Council to research that for us all, and I will also take up a motion Wednesday from the committee to issue a subpoena if anyone cares to bring that, and you obviously do. Hopefully before then we'll have heard and have already begun to make arrangements for someone from the DOJ to come and testify.
Okay. And again, I just, keep bringing this up because the reason that we're here is because of this letter, and they've given some pretty quick deadlines. I think it's August the 7th that they have. Which
I'm not sure what that is a deadline.
Well, I just think if they're giving us some pretty tight deadlines, it's okay for us to give them a tight deadline to respond to us.
I don't disagree. I think, and that's why I said Wednesday we'll be happy to entertain a motion. But always need to bear in mind as well, the governor could have put congressional redistricting on the call regardless of whether he received that letter.
I don't think that would have happened. I don't think he was going to put this on the call until he got that letter and until Trump called him. That's what sparked all of this. That's why we're here, because none of this was ever discussed during the regular session. And as I said on Saturday, usually in special sessions, you take up bills that needed to be tweaked or something like the Central Texas floods that happened, but nobody was talking about redistricting in the special session. The only thing we were talking about kind of on the sidelines was the court case in El Paso.
Well, I'm not at all disagreeing with you that that's the norm, but I will say the map that's in place today for the congressional members was passed in a special session in 2021, and then reaffirmed in 2023 during the regular. And then we, on occasions during the prior decade, due to court orders or the governor, then Perry, just on his own initiative, putting it on the call, have dealt with redistricting. Okay.
Well, and since I brought up El Paso, we've referenced the court case in El Paso several times, whether on the floor or here. Is it leadership's intention to push members to move forward with redrawing the map in the next couple of weeks? Then it would be beneficial for all the committee members to be knowledgeable about the claims raised in the ongoing litigation and the state's position on the 2021 map and what the expert witnesses said, would you be willing to ask the Attorney General's office to provide us with full transcripts from the trial and have them to be part of the legislative record?
Yeah, we could certainly ask them to make them available, probably drop them into our Dropbox if they do that. I can tell you that I've called the Attorney General's office and asked them to come and just brief me, and they've done that. And then I've read quite a few of the documents myself, not all of them by any measure. And I also read the Attorney General's response to the DOJ letter at issue and the court's response to the motion by the plaintiffs to reopen testimony because of that letter. And I'm sure that if you individually wanted to ask the Attorney General's office, they'd come to your office and brief you up on it as well. But we'll ask them to pick out the pertinent documents that'll give a good overview and get those to us, and they're all public record. And we'll be happy to make sure they get dropped into the committee, into your Dropbox, the committee Dropbox.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. I think it's important for us to see that because attorneys, state officials, people were under oath and talked a lot about how the maps in 2021 were racially blind, VRA compliant, constitutional. And I'm just curious if were people lying back then, or are they, I mean, even the man that drew the map, Mr. Adam Kincaid, testified to that. And so was he committing perjury? Was he doing something else? So I think it's important that we have that. So I appreciate your reply.
Happy to do that.
One last thing. You know, it bothers me that we continue to treat this mid-decade redistricting like any normal redistricting, because it's not a normal redistricting. But yet we insist on, this body insists on treating it as if it is a regular redistricting cycle. This is not a regular redistricting cycle, so why are we treating this as if it is? I mean, this is a mid-decade redistricting called by the President of the United States for personal reasons, but yet we want to conform it into one of our regular decade redistricting. It's a round peg trying to go into a square hole. So why do we have to go by the guidelines of our regular redistricting process? President's office isn't. Our governor's office isn't. Our lieutenant governor's office isn't.
So what I'm trying to do,
and Mr. Chairman, I'm going to say this before you say that. I have the utmost, once again, the utmost respect for you and my colleagues. But this is an arrogant process. This is a blatant, arrogant, conceited process that's just being shoved down the throats of the citizens of Texas, particularly the African American and brown, who is going to hurt the most. By no means am I calling any of my colleagues arrogant and cocky, but this process is, Mr. Chairman, this process is. And it's going to hurt my community. It's going to hurt Senator Alvarado's community. And it just seems like nobody cares. It's like we don't exist in this state. And many a times I've said to my colleagues, the strength of Texas is in its diversity. We cannot live up to our full capacity until we embrace our diversity. It's getting ridiculous, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, thank you for your comments, and I take them in with the intent that they were offered.
Please do, sir. Thank you.
And what my commitment is, that I'll do my best to make sure that we operate the committee in full accordance with the rules of the Senate and with the rules of the Senate resolution we passed on Monday, and I will do my best to try to keep it as open and transparent as possible. So if y'all have any more requests for information, let me know, and I'll do my very best to accommodate those. Again, for right now, we're just in an information gathering stage. We're here because the governor, we're in response to the charge, the governor placing this on the call. And we have one more information hearing tomorrow. After that, as I mentioned, we can have a discussion Wednesday if someone wants to offer a motion for a subpoena. In the meantime, I'll ask for Ledge Council to research that question of subpoenaing a federal officer. And with your help, I'd like to go ahead and open us up for the witnesses. I know we have a few standing by, including a couple of congressional members. We have about 50 people in the waiting room. So are there any more comments?
I do have
Yes,
a suggestion.
Senator Alvarado.
Since we have Senator Hughes on the committee, and he as chair of State Affairs, they did issue a subpoena to the CEO of BlackRock who lived out of state in New York. So maybe he can lend his expertise in helping us to get that subpoena if the issue is subpoenaing somebody that is out of state. Just a suggestion, since he has experience
I've already
doing
planned
that.
on consulting him
Okay.
about this, and I do need to make sure that there's not something unique in the fact that it's a federal officer. But again, we will have a hearing on this Wednesday, right after we recess for the day, and by then hopefully we have all the answers, and we may well find that we've already received a response to our invitation and worked out a date for someone from DOJ to come testify.
Thank you.
Thank you. That said, anybody else? All right. Senator Hughes, did you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And you have all this under control. You do, of course, you're proceeding appropriately. I would only, to give a little context to our colleague, Senator Alvarado, the Committee on State Affairs authorized by a 2/3 vote, authorized the chair to issue subpoenas to a number of financial firms, BlackRock, I believe BlackRock, State Street, also ISS, and Glass Lewis. ISS, a proxy advisory firm. It was back in 2022. Armed with that, we contacted those entities, told them what we wanted, and they agreed to comply without the necessity of issuing the subpoena. So we never tested that issue. We also, in that case, though, each of those firms have people in Texas. So our backup was, even if we couldn't get to the boys in New York, they had folks in Texas we could spend if we had to. So just for context, everything you said is true, but we never got to the point of having to enforce that subpoena against an out-of-state person. We hope we have that authority, but again, we never tested that. So, and of course, I'm going to assist the chair and the committee moving forward. But I want to make sure we were clear on that, what happened with state affairs historically. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator.
Good. Thank you. Anybody else? Sorry. Yeah. Staff's telling me I need to clarify that what I meant by hearing on Wednesday is we would have a formal meeting of the committee upon the end of that day's business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
respectfully, we have our congressional people waiting.
I was just fixing to call them up.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I just want to make sure we give them the due respect.
And I'm going to call them up one at a time, and I'm going to call the Honorable Al Green first, not giving him preference over Congresswoman Fletcher, but his name is just first up on the list. So, and he is the senior member. Congressman, are you with us? Congressman, are you able to hear us? And could you speak so we can... Need to unmute your screen.
I'm unmuted, I think.
There you are. Okay, great. Thank you for being here with us today. We can see you, and we're eager to hear what you have to say. Please proceed. And just for our record, just so it's on the archived tape, if you would please state your name and who you're representing today.
I'm Congressman Al Green, and I represent the 9th Congressional District of Texas. But I think I represent people across the length and breadth of the state because the issue impacts people across the length and breadth of the state. And if I may say so, I take no great delight in saying what I'm about to say. Let me start by thanking the committee. I thank the senators. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, the Vice Chair. And I want to associate myself with the remarks of Senator Miles and Senator Alvarado. They took up quite a bit of what I would need to say and don't have time to say. There's not enough time to explicate, so I will abbreviate. This is wrong. It is wrong for us to conclude that we can eliminate